I get it all set up, and I'm, like, in the thing trying to, like, get set up. I'm, like, looking at the clock. I look over, and I see him, like, putting the red, like, envelope in the car. I was like,
Yeah.
curse you! I was like, you've already written the ticket, so there's no getting you to stop. Like, he's like, no, dude, I'm sorry. Like, I'm right here. Like, here's the money. Like, I'll throw it at you. Like, take it, please.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, they're brutal. Like, I don't think... I think I paid in the right parking lot, so...
Yeah. I mean, I paid now. But
now?
Like,
Why pay now? You should just left the ticket on it.
I know.
Then, like, what are they going to do, write you another one?
Yeah, probably. You know, I wouldn't put it past them. Like, if I had left the ticket on there, they probably would have just given me a second ticket. My stuff might have not fallen over, and my beer may or may not have spilled, but, like, I might have gotten 2 parking tickets.
Yeah, but then you'd have a beer. And,
and
a less damp ass.
I mean, honestly, dude, I was sweating my ass off, like, moving everything around when I first got here. Like, it's nice now, but I was like, straight up, I was like, I wish I had brought a second shirt. This is gross. Like, I am gross. This is horrible.
All right, so Inebri-art's our gross guest is Kelsie, who I met at Pine Hills at Art on the Green there, who came to our first Inebri-art Art on the Town Hall Green here in Plymouth. And then we suckered her into coming out to Live at 5 concert, which is fine. You spilled the beer.
It's a great story.
Yeah.
I've had a great story here. It's been filled with trials and tribulations.
No, so you spilled the beer, you broke a piece, and you got a parking ticket.
Yeah.
If you could have only picked one, like what was the worst one?
The parking ticket was a real kick in the ass.
Yeah.
I saw him doing it, and I was like, really? Dude, really? I was like, I'm right here. I can see you. The hatch is open. Like, clearly someone's using the vehicle. You're killing me. I'm like...
You should have just yelled at him.
He was old. I sort of felt guilty about, like... It would have just, like, come out in, like, a horrible soup of profanity.
You could have called him cunt.
Yeah, I learned a really valuable lesson about calling people cunts, and that it starts a lot of shit that I'm not always ready to finish at the moment. Like,
but he's old. You probably could have taken him.
Yeah, or like he would have talked to the officer who was standing 20 feet away from me and been like, this woman's disrupting the peace, or like, I don't know. And the only way to preserve my status as the favorite child in my family is to never be arrested, because my sister got arrested for shenanigans, but nothing serious. But it's been the best thing that's ever happened to me, because no matter what she ever says to me now,
you'd be like, well, I didn't get arrested.
Yeah, it's like, well, I wasn't you.
So Kelsie, you're an artist. That's why we figured we'd bring you on.
That's nice.
But you're a printmaker.
Yes.
Which we've had on before, but not recently.
What kind of printmakers did you have before?
We had Kat Libretto, and she does screen printing.
Oh, cool. That's totally different.
Yeah. But yeah, you are more...
I would do...
It's not wood block. It's it's like a rubber?
Overarching umbrella term is called relief printing.
Okay, that's the word I'm looking for.
Yeah, so it could be anything from wood blocks, linoleum, rubber, you can even use like foodstuffs to do a relief print. Like
potatoes.
Kids use potatoes.
Yeah.
Or like the weird styrofoam meat trays. Like,
oh, yeah, I remember doing that.
Technically, it's relief printing. So
when I was in college, we were doing linoleum blocks, and they give so you have the tools. And the teacher's like, so the tools are sharp.
Yeah, they're real sharp. Knock on wood, I have never had a major carving tool injury, but I've seen some really gnarly ones.
And so the teacher's like, we have these things that you hook onto the edge of the desk to hold your piece.
Yeah, the stop things.
So you don't injure yourself. And so everyone's kind of carving. Of course, no one wants to be the sped.
Nobody wants to be that asshole.
Yeah.
Like,
she came over and handed one to me and the kid at my table, being like, here, you guys should use these. And I'm like, what are we doing that is so horribly wrong?
What would make you think that I need this? Yeah. As I'm sitting here stabbing myself in the hand
I never got myself with a carving tool. And I can say that because I don't really use them frequently.
It's fair. I took I took a woodworking class, and like the teacher for the class called it the never ever rule. And the never ever rule is never ever put your hand in front of the tool that you're using. So if you're working on something, you have your hand out in front of you, your hand is already in the wrong place.
Yeah.
If you're about to carve something, your hand is in the wrong place. Never, ever put it there.
Never, ever put it there.
There should never be hands. There should never be fingers. There should never be anything in front of the tool other than the material.
And do you abide by that rule?
Most of the time. It's sort of like learning to write. You have to know the rules so you know when it's appropriate to break them. Yeah. And or then when you cut yourself, you can ask for zero sympathy because everyone goes, you knew. I don't feel bad for you. You are bleeding, but I don't feel bad for you.
That's a gnarly cut. But,
yeah, I'm like, that is going to leave a mark.
Yeah.
Wow, yep.
So how did you get into printmaking?
That's actually my favorite story to tell about printmaking. So I went to art school, did the whole 4-year program as a sculpture major. It was lovely. Actually, it was fucking terrible. I hated it. It was horrible. I never wanted to be an artist after that. I loved making stuff right up until I got done with school there, and I was like, nope, never again. I got the pen side now. Like, that was terrible. So you
went to school and then you were like, I don't want to do this?
It was just brutal. I don't know what I expected, but it was just like, I just felt like empty afterwards. But so I went and did some other stuff, and I was like, all right, well, I'm clearly not going to be an artist, but that's what I went to school for, so I'm not really qualified for a lot of else. So I was like, I should go back to school. So I went back to school for biology, which is great, and I'm very good at it, turns out. And the last semester of my biology degree, I was taking, like, calculus and, like, physics 2 and, like, a bunch of 300-level biology classes, and I was like, I have room in my schedule, and I need to not take, like, a science. And there was an opening in the, like, introduction to printmaking. I never did printmaking in the 4 years I was at art school. Ever. Never.
So you were just kind of like, fuck it.
I was like, this is great. I have an art degree, so I'll just take this as a pass-fail because I will never fail something that, like, a monkey could pass.
Yeah.
And I'll just use it as, like, a, you know... It's like it's something kind of relaxing, like a place where I'm comfortable, you know, and it's low pressure for me because I'm like, after 4 years of art school, introductory like 100 level class at like a liberal arts college is nothing. Like you're fine. There's no crit that's gonna.
No one's gonna make me cry here.
You can't break me. I'm already broken. Yeah, I was like, this is gonna be great, and it just like I think that was part of it too. Is it was just like it was so low pressure for me that like. I just got to try, like, a bunch of really different things, and it was really nice. I graduated after that semester, and I was like, I can't actually work in a lab. I can't actually do biology. Like, I love doing it, but, like, I can't be a lab tech. That's dead inside also.
So is there something about getting a degree that makes you suddenly not want to do it? You're qualified to do this.
Yeah.
No, I'm not.
It's like, yeah, I am, so I'm not going to. Yeah. I really just love wasting money, honestly.
Yeah.
No, I think it was weird, and I know this now, but I think it took a long time to figure it out. It's like, I'm really good at biology. Like, I'm very good at, like, the analytical, like, science stuff. But I have to feed both halves, like the left brain, right brain kind of concept.
Yeah.
It's like, I have to be doing something creative, and I have to be doing something, like, more straightforward at the same time. Like, they need each other, and the more ramped up either side gets, the more I crave the opposite.
So does printmaking,
printmaking
satiate both of those?
Printmaking
Did
doesn't...
a bug just fly in your eye?
Yeah, it was close. It was a close call. It's good, just dust it away. Play it off. Act casual.
Okay.
Is that printmaking specifically? It's like... It's that I can make work about science things.
Oh, okay. Is that why you do, like, a lot of animals and skulls and...
Yeah.
Ah.
Like, my day job boss hates it. Like, literally, I can see his physical pain when I do this. Like, something comes up and I go, did you know? Followed by insert, like, usually biology fact here about, like, did you know that, like, the human body has X number of bones? Or, like, this type of tooth is called a carnassial molar. And he's just like...
Oh, my God. I send out emails being like, hey, guys, it's Trivia Tuesday. This is a little known fact.
Yeah, I was like, if you ever need, like, a really, like, clutch movie anchor or biology anchor, I'm good for trivia.
Yeah.
So, you know, pass that.
Okay, so you need to right, podcast listeners, amuse yourself. You need to check out QI.
Do I?
Yeah. It is a British TV show, but it's like a panel show, like a quiz show.
Okay.
The competitors are all like...
I like this. Yeah, this is good.
Yeah, that's air quotes. Which works super great in audio. So the competitors are all like stand-up comedians and actors. Oh
my God.
Oh, shit. Harry Potter.
Which one?
Daniel Radcliffe.
Okay, so actually Harry Potter, not the movies, like Harry Potter.
He's been on the show.
Guy.
And they ask incredibly hard trivia questions. Almost to the point where they're leading you to have the wrong answer.
They want you to fail because it's funny.
And so they get points for being right, which happens.
If you're lucky.
Lose points for making an obvious wrong answer.
Okay.
And they'll also get points if they're just entertaining. So the audience is...
I should really get fitted. I should get, like, famous in Britain. It sounds like I might, like, rock this show.
The audience is won for yelling out answers.
That's good. All right.
There was a stand-up comedian who had points deducted from 3 seasons prior because he was wrong and someone wrote in. It's really funny.
I would also willingly be the person who writes in 3 seasons later.
By the way...
I would just like you to know, did you know that so-and-so was incorrect? And the answer is actually... The plural of octopus is not octopi. It is actually octopuses.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Wow.
You're welcome.
Thanks.
You're welcome. Did you know?
Not playing trivia against her.
Greek, not Latin origins. I took 4 years of Latin. Yeah. I took 4 years of Latin in high school because, apparently Spanish wasn't my jam.
I took Spanish, and I passed the first Spanish 1 with a D. You know what you shouldn't do with a D in Spanish 1?
Take Spanish 2.
That's a lesson I learned the hard way.
You know what you shouldn't do with any grade in Latin? Continue in any capacity because the language is dead.
It's like I came back after summer break and everyone's talking in Spanish the whole class. I'm like, the fuck did you do?
You're like, habla inglés?
Like, we did not get to this point in Latin. Yeah, it was crazy. So you do art and stuff.
Yeah, So I figured out the two halves thing most especially though, because the harder the classes in biology I started taking, I knit on the side, not as a for sale thing. It's just like
knit?
Yeah.
Okay.
Chronically, since I was 16. It's like an addiction. It's not even just like a hobby.
Is it kind of like
I have to.
Almost like a fidget spinner, where it's just something you do
totally.
to kind of
But it's really awkward in class because...
Wait, you knit it in class?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my God, I can see how that'd be super annoying.
I would sit in the back of the room.
Click,
No, dude, I was polite. I know how to... you use wood needles. I'm an adult. It wasn't that. It was that they thought I wasn't paying attention, and so...
I love that's your... I used wooden needles while I knitted in biology class. I'm an adult.
I was trying to be polite.
I don't understand that connection.
I was trying to be polite. I was considerate of the other people in the class who had to take notes. I get it. It happens. You have to take notes sometimes. But I had more than one professor come up to me at the beginning of semesters and be like, I'm a little concerned. I don't feel like you're paying attention. And I was like, come back to me after the first exam.
You're like, test me now, bitch.
Yeah, I'm like, come back to me after the first exam. I never had a professor come up to me after the first exam and be like, you still need to stop. I was like, I just have to keep them busy.
You need to stop. You're irritating the other. See, that happened to me with high school geometry. And so I'd stay awake in the class long enough to kind of get the gist.
Yeah, all right, I see what we're talking about.
And then when I spend the last 45 minutes, beating that...
Yeah.
Whatever topic.
In case any of you were too slow to get this the first 30 times, we will be summing up.
Yeah, so I would nap.
I get it.
Someone got yelled at for sleeping, and I was kind of on the verge, and they're like, well, Andy's asleep, and the teacher's like, when you get a 90s on all the tests, you can sleep too.
Yeah, it's when you're averaging an A and you're still sleeping in class.
I had a B+, and I never did homework.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
I got an A in a genetics lecture that I slated as 45 minutes of Pinterest time.
Yeah.
I feel bad because I know people who know this professor, and they just look at me and they're like, "You suck."
But see, then conversely, I can't do anything English related.
I really enjoyed English.
Now it's like
I was a very introverted child.
I feel like for me, I think I would do well in English as a second language class. I feel like I would do okay there.
ESL's a rough ride.
Don't shake your head, no!
ESL's a rough ride. I've seen that classroom. It's hard. It hurts.
Damn.
You have to come to terms with things like propositions, and that's mean. Like, it's not good. They're hard to use.
So, what grade do you think you would get in an English second language class? Do you think you'd be able to pull an A?
I
feel like I'd get an easy B.
I would literally have to.
I would have the language.
I would literally have to work at probably getting an A in like
God damn it.
intro to like English as a grammar and like traditional grammar. I would probably have to work, and that's disappointing.
That's crazy. So this is a creativity podcast, and we're now talking about class and science. So
It's literally the story of my life.
Yeah, it always goes off the rails. So a lot of your topics are animals and sciencey related things. What is your favorite thing to work on?
Like,
you were working on a turkey.
I was, and I
He
felt
told some poor guy it was a self-portrait.
I didn't tell him.
Not a self-portrait,
but
a portrait.
But I was going to say, like, he was getting his portrait done by the other guy, and I didn't want anybody to feel like, I wasn't also working hard on portraits of someone. And also, I was like trying to pick something thematic to like Plymouth, an American.
Oh, we're all turkeys down here?
I mean,
That's pretty accurate.
I mean, I wasn't going to say it,
right.
but like,
Fair enough.
You said it.
I did.
I was just going to call it America's hometown bird.
Benjamin Franklin wanted it to be the national bird.
He did.
See?
And he was wrong.
I know trivia, too.
And he was wrong.
Well, yeah, because they're a nuisance.
Yeah, they're a nuisance. They're dumb as a bag of hammers. I mean, to be fair, whoever voted for the eagle alternatively was also mistaken because they are also not smart.
They're a very pretty seagull.
They are majestic, yes.
They're a majestic seagull.
But they are also stupid.
Yeah.
Incredibly dumb. Also, they're kind of scavengers. They're not...
Yeah.
I mean, they sort of hunt, but they would also be roadkill.
Did you?
It's not classy.
It was a few years ago.
It's not a good look.
A few years ago, they had someone like set up like a webcam so you could live stream.
Oh, yeah.
These eagle babies, and they got someone's cat being fed to the babies.
Oh my god!
Which is like my favorite thing. Ooh, that was not a good time.
They've been having a little bit of a rough time with like
the audio. They've been
like I gotta be honest, like I don't know anything about sound management for music, but like there was a point where I was a little concerned that it sounded a lot like above average karaoke.
Sounded like what?
Above average karaoke. Which makes me feel kind of bad. Like I'm sure they practice.
Yeah.
And I'm sure they're good when
they were definitely having some.
But they were having
they're working it out.
Yeah, they were having a testing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, like maybe start again.
You haven't heard the sound quality of this yet, so maybe you shouldn't comment. Don't. No.
Just once. Just a second. It's a chronic problem I really do have is touching everything. Like, I have to try hard not to. It's impulsive, I swear. It's art school because, like, rule number 1, when you walk into an art museum, what are you not allowed to do?
You can't touch things.
Don't touch anything.
Yeah.
Nothing. And everything is, like, out in the open, and it's on, like, pedestals, and the first thing you want to do is, like...
I met the archivist for the Museum of Fine Arts in Boston, and the one thing she was like, people touch shit all the time.
It's like the wet paint sign. The minute you tell someone not to do it, it's like...
Well, it's like, don't look down.
It's like...
If you say don't look down, the first thing you do is you want to see why.
Yeah, you're like, but I have to. It's compulsive.
So what's the worst thing that you weren't supposed to touch that you touched?
We want to thank you for hanging out with us.
Don't admit to a crime.
That's a hard sell. I have some self-control. It's not a lack of self-control. It's usually a desire for more sensory information. I feel like touching things tells you stuff that, like, looking at it will just never tell you. Things can look soft and are not.
Sure.
Like, things
like
can...
lizards can look slimy, but they're not.
But they're not.
Yeah.
Something can appear curved, but it's not. Like, there are just certain things you can only learn by touching things. Like, I feel like being blind would probably be a really interesting experience.
So, when you're drawing something, do you find it's easier if you can touch it?
it is nicer because it makes it much easier to think about, like, in 3 dimensions.
Yeah.
It's like, well, I know that the curvature feels this way, or I know that it's like, there's this weird dip, and it's like, maybe I can't see it in the picture, but like, I know it's there, so it's like, maybe you want to incorporate that.
Yeah. Because
Bones are really nice like that.
rolling back to that whole, you need to know the rules so you know when to break them. Because it's that, like, you have to draw what you see up until you realize that you see something that optically looks weird.
Yeah.
And you need to change it so people can
Yeah,
understand
totally.
what it is.
But, like, bones are really funny like that, and I really like drawing them, and I would do more of them, but it's sort of a mixed crowd on how people feel about them. But it's like, because they're, for the most part, when we see them, they're really solid, neutral color. So it's like there's not always a lot of shadow involved when you look at them. So it's like, there can be these, like, shapes that are there, but you can't see them.
Right.
So if you can't see them, it's hard to portray them. So that kind of comes in with the touching things where it's like, but if you touch it, you know that bone actually has, like, a curve in it. And it's like, maybe the light here doesn't tell you about that.
Yeah.
But, like, touching it will.
Sure.
And then if you know that, yeah, you can take
you
that
can
artistic
incorporate it.
license,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
you're like, all right, so maybe this reference photo doesn't really tell me that, but, like, I can put a drop shadow here, or I can, like, kind of just add this, like, line, and it tells you that there's this, like, really small curve here.
Right. Or you can do something to show a texture that may not be visible that...
Exactly, or it's like, when you touch this, it's really raspy, but, like, you can't see
You
it.
can't see it, but
yeah,
you
it's
wanna...
really fine, but it's, like, it's not smooth, so how do you
Right.
describe that visually? So, touching things, it's a bad compulsion, but, you know, it tells you a lot.
Yeah.
Plus, it adds to the did you know list.
Like, did you know that...
Did you know that is not actually flat? It is curved. I touched it. They yelled at me, but we're good. We're good.
Did you know you get yelled at when you touch that?
Yeah, literally.
Yeah.
Did you know that is, in fact, not flat, it is curved, and also did you know they will yell at you for finding that out?
All right, give us a good did you know fact.
Oh, that's hard. Like, science fact, random fact, like...
I will give you a random sports fact.
Sports fact?
Did you... Yeah, Fish's ears perked up immediately because he's like, you don't know shit about sports.
I know shit about hockey. I know shit about hockey.
I'm a hockey fan myself. But when basketball started, they used peach baskets, and no one thought to cut a hole in it, so anytime someone scored a basket, they had to get a ladder and climb up the ladder and get the ball out.
I did not know that.
Now you do.
That was really solid. It feels good to be did you know. I have to be honest, the world becomes a boring place when you're the only one who knows something.
And then you bore people.
I mean, I don't even give a shit about them. I'm like, why are you
times-
so uneducated?
See, a lot of times, like, I either say those facts or I make a joke, and people just look at me and I'm going, I'm doing this for my entertainment.
Yeah,
I
was
don't
like,
care.
this is literally not about
Yeah.
you. Have you ever called anyone a Philistine to their face?
Have I what?
Ever called anyone a Philistine to their face?
No.
Yeah, it's
Thanks
solid.
again, guys. We
Because
honored.
I promise you, most people don't know what it means, but they know it's an insult, and that's the
I
best
feel
part.
like I'd have to look it up to know exactly what it means. See, now Fish is over there dropping his head
It's
at me.
okay. I'm not gonna did you know. I'll let you.
That's
look
right.
that
I'll
one
look it
up.
up. I'll Google
It's
it
good.
later.
It's good.
I like troglodyte. No, not troglodyte. Luddite.
I'm a Luddite.
Really? On a
It's
podcast.
weird, right?
That's-
I know.
That's very strange. Being like, I'm a Luddite.
You know what's
and
worse is
by
when
the way,
you-
you can download this at.
I'm a Luddite. You are not. You're in charge of this. I'm just here for the ride, man. Like someone's like,
Uh,
hey, get in this weird piece of technology.
Careful,
you don't
your
understand. Oh,
your
my cash money.
your ticket fee is falling out of your pocket.
My beer money. You know what? This is what overalls are for.
There you go.
Yeah. No, that's the best. That's the best part, though. Is like, I'll tell people that I'm a Luddite, and then they don't know what Luddite is. I'm just like, it's fine. It's clearly you are too.
Yeah, but it's a really good insult.
And you're also a Philistine, so now we're good.
Yeah,
I'm like,
those
I'm
are
one
those
up
are
to
great
you.
insults because they know they're insulted, but not
Yeah,
sure
that's the
why.
best kind of insult, because if somebody knows what it is, they're like, well, I have this rebuttal to that, and you're like, you're going to have to go home and look that up, and there's shame in that.
I had a friend in high school, and he was a unique kid, and one day my mother's like, you're like taking care of blind twins. And he's like, that's insulting, and I'm really mad, but I don't know what she meant.
Yeah, you're like, this really hurts, but I'm not sure.
But I'm not sure what exactly you meant by that.
Say.
Yeah. So I think they are finishing up here. So
all good things.
Yeah. So where can people go online to find your prints? You must have
I have a website. It's Artful.
Why are you making faces at me?
Artful by Nature Studio.
What? Oh, it's only 7:30. We have time. Oh, forget that. We'll get back to that.
Nope, that's a lie. I mean, I do have a website, but...
Oh, where's your website?
But
we'll do this early.
It's artfulbynaturestudio.com.
Artful by Nature. So, how long have you been doing the art show thing? 'Cause we found you at Pine Hills. I found you at Pine Hills. It makes you sound like you're lost.
It's really funny, though, because that was so fortuitous, because I had literally asked
somebody. That was the weirdest thing, because I handed you my card, and you're like, I was on your website this morning, and I'm like,
literally.
Oh, that's so weird.
Yeah, it was very fortuitous. Usually, I have really good juju. Like, the whole, spilling beers, getting tickets, things breaking is not my jam. By and large, ask anybody who's known me, and I qualify as that weird person who's like, they're always just kind of, lucky. It's not like shit ever necessarily is so fantastically great, but it's when the little things happen and it could be either or, it's I always seem to fall on the right side.
I usually end up one of those things where I'm like, I'm kind of hungry, and someone's like, you say you're hungry, here's a sandwich. And you're like, oh, great, thanks, man.
It's more I applied to one college, and they're like, yeah, you can come here. And I'm like, wow, this is weird, because everybody told me I was not getting in.
Yeah.
And it's oh, I just bought one raffle ticket for some weird raffle that I didn't even look at. And they called me, and they're like, hey, you won $500. And I was like, hey, wow, cool. And they're like, do you have kids? I was like, no. And they're like, well, you bought a raffle for a playground. And I was like, I don't know. There were kids selling things.
Someone handed...
Yeah, I gave them a $5 bill.
Right.
I didn't know I was going to get...
They were bothering me.
Yeah, I was like, I don't know. They look nice. I just gave them some money. I didn't plan on winning this.
Fish looks nice. You could give him some money.
Giving them a $5 bill.
Yeah.
Man, I bought a $5 raffle ticket, and I did. I won $500 cash at the grocery store. It took them 3 months. They were calling me, and I didn't know the number.
They called you? Oh, my God.
Because I didn't think about it. I forgot.
Robocalls have ruined the phone.
They have.
I don't answer.
And I
don't answer anything.
I hate talking to people on the phone.
If you're calling me, you're wasting your time. I don't listen to the messages. I don't answer the phone.
My message box has been full for months.
Unless you're in my phone as a contact.
There's tiers of contacts where it's if they're calling me, I answer it because it must be an emergency, because they know that I'm only going to answer the phone if it's an emergency.
That's everybody.
No, that's literally
if you call me and you're in my phone, I'd be like, oh my God, something's wrong. Yeah, I don't even listen to my messages.
And you.
There are so many messages on my voicemail that it's I don't know, and I don't care, because it's all nonsense.
I actually let them fill up so that I can be like, oh, is it full?
I just feel
that's
like
so awkward.
I feel like there's probably something super important in there somewhere. But
there are definitely people who are you owe us money, and I'm like,
no, I said super important.
I'm like, if it's super important, they're going to email or text me.
Yeah. So how did you start doing the art festival thing?
I think my mom's a teacher, and the high school where she teaches does a holiday type fundraiser thing at the school, and she was like,
is it in Kingston?
Oh no, she lives in New Hampshire.
Oh, all right.
Yeah. So she lives in a pretty rural town in New Hampshire, but she
lives in New Hampshire. Everything in New Hampshire is rural.
That is true, but it's yeah, that's true. There's no, nope. I mean, it's not the Hamptons and it's not Portsmouth, so yes. Yeah. And she's like, oh, the buy-in for this is super inexpensive. You're doing all this art stuff. Come do this thing, whatever, here's a table.
Yeah.
And it was okay. It was kind of horrible, but it was okay. I didn't know anything about doing...
Did they have beer?
No, it was a high school, dude. They had, people with...
I drank plenty of beer in high school.
Yeah, me too, but,
No, I didn't, Liam.
Not 2 years ago, I totally would have been like, no, I never drank in high school, Mom. Sorry.
So you have to remember, I say shit like that, and then I'm like, oh, fuck, my son's a senior next year.
Honestly, if he's drinking beer, that's the worst thing he's doing. You're good to go.
Well...
You're good to go. He'll be a pro by the time he gets to college. It'll be fine.
As long as he's drinking... No, I can't even say that.
Yeah, no. As long as as long as he already knows what's going on by the time he gets to college, he's going to be fine. There's nothing worse than the people that come in and are like, I've never done any of these things. And I'm like,
never
you are
sucked
the
away.
reason. Yeah, you are the reason we're all going to get arrested.
Yeah.
You
Those are the worst people.
They literally are.
I went to high school with this girl, and
Trust
she
me,
was like,
there's nothing worse than amateurs.
she was like super straight edge in high school. I saw her after her freshman year of college, and she's like, "Yeah, so I did mescaline," and I'm like, "Wait, what now?"
You're like, how was that for you? How was it?
And I'm like, "Oh, that's not a good thing."
I'm like, well,
Learn self-control.
I guess it's not meth. So
yeah.
Hey,
this
good.
was.
You know what? A+.
I don't think we knew what meth was.
Well, no, that's probably a good thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, there's nothing worse than amateurs freshman year. They're always the ones that get you in trouble. It's much better to rip that Band-Aid off while they're still at home and can call you.
And he can. He called me. Yeah.
You know, I'm just saying, like, not for personal
I just would rather not know.
You really rather would, I promise you.
Keep me in the dark about it all. Just
Dude, I promise you would much rather get that phone call than, like, not get it and then something goes horribly wrong.
Yeah.
Like, that was the best thing that ever happened when I finally ripped the Band-Aid off my mom. I'm like, I'm a terrible person. And she's like, we had an argument. And then suddenly it was like, we were cool. And then, you know, it was like, now I'm like, shit, Mom, I've got, like, shit going down. She's like, all right, well, we're gonna do the thing. We're gonna fix this. And I was like, oh, well, if I had known that's what it was gonna be like, I'd have told you how horrible I was earlier. I'm sorry.
So, like, I just don't be on the news.
I'm gonna try not to be.
You know, that's especially nowadays. Everything's recorded. Don't be on the news.
Yeah, that's true. That's what sucks. It's like, even when I was like...
In his high school, some kid, he was a senior, went to the Red Sox parade, ate a piece of horse poop.
Ew.
Because he was
because
he was drunk and someone dared him.
Okay, wait. You are shit-faced. And now you are shit-faced. On the internet forever. That's you forever now,
Yeah, but he also lost his scholarship.
Well, you know, that's what
like,
you get.
Yeah, you know, just...
To be fair, I do not... What is it Hunter S. Thompson said? He said something to the effect of, I would never recommend drugs, violence, or rock and roll for anybody, but it's always worked for me, or something to that effect.
It sounds like a Hunter S. Thompson.
Yeah, you know, it's one of those things. But it's like, if you're ever going to do things that you're not supposed to be doing, accept that you know you're not supposed to be doing them, and if you get in trouble, just, like, own it. Don't try and pretend it wasn't happening. Yeah. They saw you, dude. You've got caught. Just get over it.
That's fair. If you do something, own it.
It's faster that way. I promise you. It really is. Just accept it.
It's true. The people who try to, like, fight it.
Yeah, there's nothing worse where I'm like, dude, everyone saw you. We know.
We know it was you.
Dude, you can't. All right, well, you know what? It's on the phone, so here we are.
It will follow you forever.
Yeah, I'm like, God, I can't even imagine what that would be like now.
Oh. So happy.
Like, Facebook still wasn't even a thing when I was like middle of high school. Like, I mean, it had started, but it was still like MySpace and people were using it weirdly, and it wasn't like, it isn't what it, like, social media isn't what it is now.
I don't like this game at all.
It's horrible.
No, because it's like cell phones. They were a thing long after I was out of school. Yeah, I always lose this game.
It's okay.
I
always rub it in everybody's face, too.
I gotta get, like, elderly guests on.
That's alright. My husband's 8 years older than I am, so I do it to him all the time.
8 years.
I mean, I'm 30, so he's almost 40.
There's nothing wrong with... Go fuck yourself!
There's nothing wrong with that!
Jesus. Alright, just delete the whole episode, Fish.
Go ahead, cut.
I don't like the way she's going.
Cut.
Alright, so where the fuck can they find you online?
I'm at artfulbynaturestudio.com.
And do you list what art fairs and stuff you're going to be at?
Yeah, usually. I have like a calendar page.
Nice.
So it should have everything on there, unless it's something sort of short notice. But I'm also like to post those things on Instagram. So
nice. And you're going to be at the next Art on the Green, right? The first Saturday?
I am in September. I'm not, because I am traveling. Which I'm sad about. Because
no,
I would totally go.
I totally know who's on the list. That's not that I forgot and thought you were on it.
Hey man, I had a really weird thing where, like, after that event, literally, it was like 9:30 at night because I went to get something to eat afterwards. And I stopped at, like, the Walmart in Colony Place out on 44. And I'm like, Can
I ask you a question? And please don't say if you were driving. Were you drunk?
No,
because
dude.
We used to wander around Walmart.
I've totally done that
all the time.
This was not one of those times. This was literally like I was just tired and like we needed some food at the house that we needed to get on the way home. And I'm in the freezer aisle, and this, like, chick in a black dress, like, tattoos, like one of the goth crew kids that were there.
Oh, okay.
She just comes up and she goes, I saw you at that thing. And I was like, this is so weird.
That is weird.
Because we have not actually formally met, and I ended up having
Was it Caitlin or Tracy?
I don't remember.
Oh, okay.
I'll be honest, it was just sort of like, I knew that it was someone I had seen before, but she's like, you were at the art thing today. And I was like, yes.
Yeah.
This is so I was like, this is super weird. I'm sorry.
So when we got here, I put in an order at the food truck. And the guy's like, okay, Andy, what do you want? And I'm like, can I ask you a weird question? He's like, what? I'm like, did you read my name off my shirt, or do you actually know who I am? And it's because he had sunglasses on. I couldn't tell.
That's actually totally
And he's like, no, I read your name off your shirt. I'm like, all right, I just literally had no idea.
I just needed to know for me.
Yeah.
I just
totally.
need to know how creepy this is.
Because I didn't want to be like, I'm a super jerk and I don't know who you are.
I've totally had that happen where, like, so this thing, actually, this kind of circles back to the art events thing. But so in the beginning, like, it was sort of a rocky road. But, like, I've done enough of them, literally, at least even in the past, like, year and a half, where I've actually started seeing people that I've seen before.
Yep.
But it's super awkward because sometimes I don't know where I know them from, so I don't know if, like, I should recognize them. And I feel so bad because people are like, I came to your thing at, like, this place. And I'm like, oh, that's great. I'm so glad you're here again.
Dude?
Yeah, dude. Lady, chickie, person.
I will tell you a story that hopefully will make you feel better. I work
you.
yeah.
You. Yeah, the generic you.
So I work for this company. I've been there about 3 years now. When I was there about 6 months, my boss...
Is this your day job?
Yeah, my day job.
Okay.
So my boss is like, hey, I'm getting married, and I'm not a real girl, so I don't have a bridal shower, and a bunch of us are going out after work and for drinks. Would you like
you went to the bachelorette party.
More or less.
Ish.
And I'm like, all right, so it's the first thing that they invited to me from work. I have to go. So I go, and it's a bunch of people I don't know. Because, I've been there 6 months. Maybe.
It was nice of them to invite you,
yeah,
I guess.
I thought it was super nice. And so I'm sitting there and making...
Or it was really mean.
making awkward small talk with people that I don't really know.
Yeah,
like this.
as you do.
Yeah. And all of a sudden this dude comes up, he's like, Andy, what's going on? I haven't seen you in so long. I'm like, hey, man. And I have like this 5-minute conversation like, hey, blah, 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 I haven't seen you. It's good.
Yeah, I haven't seen you either.
And he walks away and someone goes, who's that? I go, I have absolutely no fucking idea. I'm like, I couldn't give you any kind of context.
That's the moment where you go, I was just going to ask you.
I'm like, you know that guy as much as I do.
Yeah.
So it happens all the time.
But
I think we're going to let you go so you can start packing up. And
my husband does look bleak over there.
Does he? He better be over there making money.
He's not a good salesman.
No?
He's very supportive, and I love him for his support, but he literally, the reason he doesn't usually stay is because, like, I think he actually makes other people uncomfortable. And I think he's aware of it.
Does he stand, like, super close when they're looking?
No, his aura is not an approachable one. Like, he just, like, stands there and just, like, kind of, it's not like a menace or a leer specifically.
Wait, no. Do the visual look again on the podcast.
Yes! Let me make the expression.
Everyone heard that. Sounded great.
I don't know how else to express myself. It's a very three-dimensional experience having a conversation with me. My phones are bad.
No, it was a pleasure having you on.
Well, thanks for inviting me. Yeah, I'm gonna be super famous now, right? That's how this works.
Yeah, there's gonna be like 8 people who know who you are. Like one guy's in Nigeria. He's gonna be. Oh,
that's great! A Nigerian prince. I've really been looking for
we have a regular listener in Nigeria. Don't badmouth him.
Hey, no.
Hey, bro, what's going on? Don't listen to her.
Sorry.
We love our Nigeria listener.
Oh. My brother-in-law.
Now we have 7 people listening. Thanks a lot.
My brother-in-law always tells me that his band is big in Asia.
We were ranked number 186 best
out of
art-related podcast in Brazil.
Was it out of 186?
I don't know, Daddy didn't tell me that. I just thought it was such a weird... It's like, you are the 186th art-based podcast in Brazil. I'm like,
when you run in, like, a 5K race of, like, 2,000 people, 186 is pretty good, so,
Dude, if I'm running a 5K race, the 2000s is okay if I make it.
Yeah, I guess making it's good too. Not dying is a plus.
I don't know if you can tell from my physique, but I am not a runner.
Hey, you know what? I've met some weirdly shaped runners. I would never even guess at whether.
Are you calling me weirdly shaped?
I'm saying you're weirdly shaped average runner. If you told me you ran marathons, I'd be like, All right.
Liar.
I don't know how you train,
Liar.
but like, can you hook me up? What is this? Because like, I would totally be down for that.
But yeah, you're welcome at any Inebri-art event.
Oh, well, cool beans.
So stay in touch. Park correctly from now on.
I did, in fact, park correctly. And
I mean,
legally,
you're in the spot.
And then my meter ran out because there was someone who left like a nice 15 minutes there for me, and I was like, that was really great.
Now, I don't mean to like mansplain to you, but you can
I
still
will literally reach across this table and break you in half. But go
you
ahead.
can still put money
Mansplain.
in even though there's 15 minutes on.
Yeah,
And then
but
you wouldn't
know
run out of
what?
time.
I was really worried about being late because there was this nice person who invited me to this event.
I like how
and
you're
thought-
like, I was worried about being late. I'm like, I'll be there sometime after 5 for the concert that starts
Like
at
I
5.
said, I'll happily reach across this table and break you in half. Because I promise you, I can.
You did a job on that cup, so I will.
Crush it like Quint,
Yeah.
baby.
All right. That's it, man. Thanks.
Well, thanks for having me.
No
I
problem.
should probably go over there. There have been like 3 people that keep circling back, and like I could just see his body language from
Yeah,
here.
you should go make some
He's,
sales.
he's just like,
Don't talk to me.
He's
Get-
like,
drop money.
But don't leave, but leave money. But leave money. Go ahead, go away, but leave money.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, thanks for checking out the podcast. And don't forget to check out our other podcasts on the Inebri-art Podcast Network. There's the Bar Talk. There's Old Colony Cast. There's, of course, the Inebri-art Podcast. And our latest, Retro Redoctopus, a kind of nerd genre podcast that you can check out now, all available on our website at inebri-art.com. And pretty much available everywhere that podcasts are available, on Stitcher, iTunes, Google Play, Apple Podcasts, all those things. And if you don't see it where you're looking, let us know. We'll try to get onto that as well. And you can also email us at inebriart@yahoo.com with your questions, complaints, and suggestions. And also, if you could take the time to rate and review us on iTunes, that would be phenomenal. That helps us get more exposure and bring more of these great podcasts to your ears. And thanks again for listening.